Catching people in the act. An online group in the Ozarks is working to capture potential predators on camera. Good evening, I'm Jesse Inman. Crystal Blair has the night off. Last night we introduced you to 417 predator hunters and we explained how members set up fake dating profiles and they confront people who show up to meet someone who they believe is underage. Now, I also spoke with Springfield Police and a local attorney who discussed how these situations could play out in court and the risk that comes along with them. As our Colorton investigation continues.
In the past, we have tried working with law enforcement.
Do you think this is dangerous?
There is an element of danger in what they're doing. Anytime you're confronting an individual with something of that nature, it creates an element for violence.
Do you know why I'm here to meet you tonight?
Major Vance Holland with the Springfield Police Department says their operation may not help officers.
If we are actively working a case and they're actively working maybe a potential same subject, it could create some deconfliction problems. It could definitely hamper a case, an active case that we're already working.
Dani says they've been told by the Greene County Sheriff's office not to call police anymore, but she says some departments are willing to cooperate with them.
They gave us a couple of suggestions on, things they could use, things they couldn't use. But we follow a pretty strict set of guidelines to make sure that, if these cases do go to court, that they're not compromised.
They turn things over like chat logs, pictures, or videos.
Really, the problem is for a case to be prosecutable, law enforcement needs to be involved from the start. It needs to be conducted by law enforcement personnel. If their objective is to create a prosecutable case, then that's typically not going to happen.
Are you here to meet a 15-year-old girl?
But Dani claims that police have gone with them before and that some of their exposures have led to arrests. Some of the people in their videos do have charges for sex crimes. Criminal defense attorney WAMPLER says this group needs to let police do their work.
We have a cyber crimes task force office here in Springfield, and they do a really good job. If it's in law enforcement, they know how to do it, they do it right. They take it to the prosecutor, they file charges, it goes before the court.
As a former prosecutor, WAMPLER says he'd feel more confident about winning a case if the vigilante technique wasn't at play.
I would argue we have some good citizens that are just trying to do the right thing. It would be a much better case if it was handled by law enforcement. I just go back to that.
Now, Dani and 417 predator hunters say that it's a satisfying feeling helping protect kids in ways that police can't. But there is another side to this. I took a call today from the brother of someone who was exposed on one of their videos. He says his brother is autistic and with the mindset of a child in many ways. He says being chased through a parking lot on video changed his brother's life forever. He understands that there could be some good to come of their work, but he hopes that they consider the effect they have on people's lives by being, quote, uninformed.